most youth are in the 20s. You know, they don't know why they are, they just are. And so my mother was like, what do you want to do? I was like, I don't know. I was about to drop out of school again twice. And from a consummate academician, that's like stabbing them in the heart. So she sent me to Africa. She said, you want to go to Africa? I said, sure. So she paid $5,000 for me to work for free for 4 months. And where did she send me? Ghana, the first country that my father went to. So I would get it. I would get it. So she sent me on his path. I did get it. I really did. It changed my life. I saw for myself. She said, if you haven't stepped in somebody's shoes, then you can't judge. We watch images on television and think that's what it is. They view us away, we view them away, and it's not so. You have to see what, you have to break bread with somebody. You have to see what they're doing. And Marvin Worth, who's 5'4" Jewish guy who did the Lenny Bruce story and Janis Joplin Rose, did X. It wasn't Spike Lee. Did X. And he shopped that for 33 years, and his colleagues in Hollywood thought, you're committing professional suicide. He's a hate monger. This short Jewish guy said, if you haven't stepped in his shoes and walked with him, you can't talk to me like that. You don't even know him. And so when he said that, I understood what my mother was saying. Here's a guy he was Jewish, in Hollywood, promoting Malcolm X. They were like, are you nuts? And it was supposed to be done in the 70s with Billy D. Williams and Diane Carroll. Thank goodness it wasn't. And it ended up being Denzel and Angela Bassett, which became a fabulous movie. But he swore he was going to tell Malcolm's story. If he had to Hollywoodize it a little bit, fine. But it was going to get out there. And at least now people who see the film, and my mother insisted on a bibliography, if you see the film again at the end, now read this, because this is still Hollywood. And there's a list of books and movies and documentaries that you can read about Malcolm X. That was Betty. She had to find a way, on her way, how she can save and preserve the legacy of Malcolm X, because nobody else was doing it. And so, after going to Africa and coming back, it opened my eyes. I finally got it. And so now, I did an internship at the UN. I've worked with several different NGOs. But now, unfortunately, older people don't want to let go. And instead of mentoring children, they want to keep on and reminisce about days gone by. Well, I was in a position where that was happening to me. I'm now the youngest UN NGO Human Rights Subcommittee co-chair of the elimination of discrimination against racism. I just got it last month. And yeah, that's right. And I say that because under Kofi Annan, he brought Africa and the Middle East on the table. Whether you liked it or not, it was in your face. If you didn't know it, you knew it now. For his 2 terms, you heard about it in the news. The administrations, the Republican administrations, used to get furious with him. And he was in your face, he wasn't leaving. They tried to pull the rug from him, it didn't work. He was still there. They wanted him to resign, Kofi never cursed, and he said, hell no. That was big. That was big. But he wasn't going anywhere. And he made people understand Africa. It was in the news whether you liked it or not. It wasn't Britney Spears and Jay-Z. It was Africa. It was in the Middle East. You know, you heard about Palestine and Israel when nobody knew. Who knew about Gaza? You heard about Gaza under Kofi. Now you hear the conflict under this present person that's not doing too much, but that's another story. But he put it there. Now when he left, all of those issues were put aside, and the present agenda was put on up front, which wasn't really helping too many people other than a select few. Meanwhile, the Middle East and Africa has now been exploding. It has not gotten any serious attention. And slowly it is. But my co-chair me of being of the African diaspora. My co-chair is Lebanese Palestinian. So trust me, the Middle East and Africa is back on the table. It is back on the table. We need to address these issues that nobody has been addressing. We have been slowly, but we haven't been really getting any attention like we did under Kofi. You're gonna get it now, because she's feistier than I am, trust me. And we're excited this year to really address these issues, especially, did you see the video about Gaza? It's heartbreaking. We have a website, theshabazzcenter.net. We're supporting Human Appeal. We're putting them on our website because Americans got dumbed down under Hollywood fashion, and they need to start getting back on the table because people are hurting globally. And our website is fantastic. And our center is not Islamic, it's ecumenical, like my father was. My father wore his religion in his back pocket because if you walk out that door, the lyncher isn't going to ask you if you're a Muslim or Christian or Jew. They're going to lynch you because you're black. They don't care what you are, so what? You're black, so what? Next. So, also, when he was ousted from the nation, he started several organizations, and a lot of the people, some were atheists, some were Christians, some were Jews, some whatever, it didn't matter. It didn't matter. You keep your religion at home. Right now, we have to deal with what's going on in our human rights violations. We're all being violated right now, so let's deal with that. And you go home and do whatever you want to do. Your couscous, your bagels, whatever, you know? But right now, we have to talk about us as human beings. You know, nobody's talking about us. And we have to really fight, because civil rights means, can I have a, you know, better treatment? Human rights is, if you have a loaf, I want a loaf too. Don't give me a piece of crumbs. You know, that's not fair, that's not right, especially if my grandmother is making it for you. She can make me a loaf too. You know, I shouldn't be getting any scraps. She should be coming home, if she's your domestic, she's coming home with the same thing for her family. And so, suffice to say that the ShabazzCenter.net, if anybody wants to look at our website. But Dr. Betty Shabazz and Malcolm X were probably the two most beautiful, humane, human rights activist couple of the 20th century, of all time. They worked together by any means necessary and gave their lives for it. So it is my duty that I have to continue their legacy. And so on that note, thank you very much, and I'd like to take some questions. Okay, we're going to do a little spoken word. Oh, I love that. Love spoken word. This sister is off the charts. She's phenomenal. And then we'll do Q&A after that. She's great. Give her a hand.